you're working with a third party that's making the rules up, where most practice owners start their business because, they want freedom and they want to own, they want to be captain of their ship, right? But in reality, the insurance company is the captain of this industry. And if you're signing their contracts, it's their patients and their model, right? Not yours as a dentist.
AI isn't just changing dentistry, it's completely redefining it. Tune into Bite-Sized Podcast, the Dental AI and Tech Podcast, and stay ahead of the curve.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Bite-Sized Podcast, where we will be talking today about dental insurance companies are evil, demonic overlords, possibly even aliens.
Yeah.
Maybe the Greys, maybe lizard people.
The reptilians. Yeah.
The reptilians. You thought that the Illuminati might not exist. It does. And it lives in the insurance company industry. We're going to be talking about that today. I brought Jordon Comstock on, from CEO, founder of BoomCloud.
Yes.
And we've known each other for a while, and he's just a really, really nice guy who's never invited me to his Hawaii condo.
You're not going to let me live that one.
No.
All right.
Anyway,
I got to schedule something.
We're both out in Utah, where every other dental marketing company and software company has, for some reason. I don't know. We could talk about that. But Jordon, give us the quick download on, your dad's company, kind of how you got into dentistry, and then how you started BoomCloud really quick.
Yeah. So dentistry has been in my family for a long, long time. My grandpa owned a dental lab, passed it on to my dad, and then started to pass it on to me and my twin brother. I said no and started BoomCloud because I didn't like the economics of the dental lab. It was really hard. It was still good business. My youngest brother runs it today. But yeah, I started my career managing a dental lab. And honestly, Adrian, the biggest thing that led me to start BoomCloud was the daily calls we would get from practice owners saying, hey, dental lab guys, can you drop your pricing because we signed up for this PPO contract and we won't make any money if you don't drop your pricing. So the PPO contracts bled into our daily operation at the dental lab, and it really bothered me because I'm like, I didn't sign these PPO contracts yet. I'm dealing with this economic issue that they're causing in the whole industry. So
the evil overlord reptilians, yes. And I'm like, man, we got to do something about it, and that's what led me to start BoomCloud. So, what's the name of your lab?
The dental lab is called Salt Lake Dental Lab. It was founded in 1906 here in Utah, and it's survived since 1906. The
Where's it
lab?
At? Where's
it's
located?
just in they moved. It used to be on Bryan Avenue and like South Salt Lake, but they moved. Where's the new location? I think it's more like Holiday now, but yeah, it's been around for a long time, and the business has survived a lot of different eras.
Yeah, for sure.
1906,
1906. You're probably the first dental lab, I would imagine,
in Utah. Oh, absolutely. I think there was 2 dental labs around that time that started. And
did people have teeth back then? That's a long time ago.
Yeah, they didn't know. They just teeth kind of just evolved.
I thought they showed up in the 40s. The teeth showed up in the 30s or the 40s.
Yeah,
people just gumming food back.
Just gumming food. Yeah, kind of crazy. But no, that's kind of what got me started, because I walked into a practice one day, and it was like a multi-location DSO that we were working with. Yeah. And they had launched a patient membership plan when it wasn't nobody knew what it was back then, right?
What it was.
And I'm like, what is this? And I had read a book called The Automatic Customer, which talks about recurring revenue and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by it, and I interviewed the CEO. I was probably 27. Yeah. And I interviewed last year. Yeah. Yeah. So it was just a short time ago. No, this is before the product idea that I began, but I interviewed the CEO of this multi-location here.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, we're getting rid of insurance because it's squeezing our margins. It's really it's horrible to work with. patients don't understand it. It's just a real big challenge in the industry, and that's kind of what inspired me to help them build their first membership plan.
When did you get started? How long ago?
I started Boom. So officially, the company started in 2016, but several years before that, we were building, and I was more consulting practices on building patient membership programs as like a one-time consultant. And then when I met, this Dr. Mayo at this multi-location, they had a membership program that was, becoming successful. And I'm like, how are you managing it? And they pulled out these binders, and I'm like
paper binders.
Yeah.
I think I might be able to upscale this.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. I'm like, would you let me work with your team? And he's like, sure. And that's how it started. Just being curious. And
that's awesome.
When I was coaching and all that stuff. So kind of crazy, but yeah, it was, I think it was 2013 or 14 is when I started coaching.
Got it.
And still working at the dental lab. And then 2016 is when we launched the first version of our software product.
Very nice.
So yeah, kind of crazy.
It's awesome. That's awesome, dude. Well, good for you. It's exciting to hear the stories of people, starting businesses and it being successful and stuff. And I know you guys are super successful. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
It's been a good run and over 10 years now. So.
All right. So this article that the ADA wrote is called "The Fiscal Squeeze on Dental Practices Continue." It came out maybe 7 or 8 months ago.
Yeah.
But it's basically gives about 2 years of data on appointment wait times. So just like how far out a patient has to schedule in order to get into the practice. And it's gone down, meaning that there's more availability at dental practices. This was the argument. And so the problem that the article was kind of like bringing up was that wait times are getting shorter and shorter and shorter, which means there's more availability at dental offices open. So that means that there's less patients coming in. But that the dental practices are also not able, they're not able to keep up with the costs. So there was something in there about how the costs were going up.
Yeah.
And even though they're seeing as many patients, even though wait times are a little bit going down, it wasn't really affecting the revenue, but they were kind of like still generating about the same amount of revenue, or I think that's what it said. And then the problem is that fees, the cost of doing business is going up significantly. So they can't create the same profitability because fees are going up. Anyway, are you familiar with the article?
Very familiar. I wake up and read it every day. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, with that, tell me what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So really what's happening inside of dentistry is exactly the financial calamity, the financial squeeze, whatever word you want to use. It's starting to catch up with us, meaning revenue grew by 1.4%, like top line revenue, but expenses grew by 4.9%, about 3.5 times more than revenue, right? So profitability is shrinking and purchasing power is shrinking, right? So when a lot of this has to do with low reimbursement from PPO plans, which has been the biggest issue for the longest time. It's now today.
These are the reptilians. We're talking about the reptilians.
Yeah, we're talking about the reptilians today. Yes.
Got it.
So this has been the biggest problem for a long time. It's finally catching up to practice owners in this inflationary market, this weird economy, right? You got low reimbursements, high expenses now, and profitability is beginning to shrink in dentistry, which is not good, right? So the biggest culprit to this are the PPO plans. Where too many practices are signed up with too many PPOs, and they're trying to make that business model work. It's not working. It's beginning to shrink profitability in dental practice. It's one of the biggest risks in our industry today because it's impacting finances, right, of a practice across the entire country. So that's the biggest thing that I'm seeing here today, and it's the thing that I mean, I've always hated the reptilian PPO overlords because because of my initial story, right?
Yeah.
Even back in 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we were dealing with our profits being squeezed because of these PPO plans, and it's only getting worse and more across every practice if they stay.
I'm gonna share some of my ignorance about this. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is it? I don't understand why it's getting worse. I mean, I understand
Yeah.
low reimbursement rates.
Sure.
But you said they're signing up with too many PPOs. What do you mean too many?
Yeah,
Like, why
yeah,
is that a problem?
Yeah, so a PPO typically forces most of the time practice owners don't read the agreements or the contract with a PPO, and they don't
Right.
fully understand the financial impacts. So most of these PPO plans require some type of discount off of UCR fees in a practice. Typically, it can range anywhere from 40 to 55%, depending on what region you're in, right? Like Utah is really, really bad state with PPO contracts. And a lot of that has to do with how practices operate and report to the insurance companies on the write-offs, right? They get stuck in these lower reimbursements. But reimbursements are getting less and lower and more complicated because today insurance companies are using AI to deny claims and delay claims even further, right? Which is, there's been many lawsuits around this, both in medical and in dental, where these insurance companies are using AI mainly to keep reimbursements at bay on their part, right? Because they make more money when they don't have to pay out claims.
So are you saying that you're
unfortunately.
basically saying like a dentist wants to solve a reimbursement, they want to call and you just get an AI?
Yeah, today you get an AI
you can't
or you
talk
get
to a human. You can't
yeah,
talk
a
to
lot of the
human.
times
Yeah.
that's a big challenge, or they're on. I mean, the story hasn't changed. It's just getting weirder, right? With AI,
Yeah.
let's just say that, because 10 years ago, a practice would call an insurance company to, let's say, verify that the patient's on that PPO plan, and they're waiting 45 minutes, right? That hasn't changed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gotten worse, and they delay and they make it more challenging for practices to get paid. So the practices that we're talking with on a daily basis are getting really frustrated because, one, the expenses are increasing, and
Yeah.
and to get paid for their work, it's getting harder and harder because of AI systems, and just the nature of a PPO plan is reducing top line revenue production, right? So that's one of the biggest issues we see with our client base, right? Is
Yeah.
they're wanting to escape this treadmill. It's a treadmill. It's going to keep them running and working hard, and not efficient. It's a very inefficient business model today.
You know what? I'm sorry. You're probably gonna get going, but I
No, you're
comment
good.
on this. So I went to a show recently, and I probably talked to 3 or 4 different companies who are doing RCM stuff,
Yeah.
revenue cycle management, and they're all pitching AI revenue cycle management to solve the problem, right?
Sure,
So
yeah.
from the dental practice side, they're trying to they're not recommending, stop taking insurance or start a membership plan. They're saying,
Yeah.
let's solve the 45 minutes on the phone problem by having an AI agent make the call.
Yes.
Or whatever,
Sure, yeah.
right?
I've seen a lot of
or
those
clean
companies.
up the claim process so that the claims get accepted appropriately rather than back and forth, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So not to have you seen anything does that work as a solution?
I mean,
I
it
don't
certainly
know. I don't know anything about it.
it certainly helps, right? The data that I look at is more financial data versus, like, I would look at that as more like admin. That helps a lot with maybe the admin work, but does it really help solve the problem that we're seeing today, where low reimbursement continue happening,
Right.
and the increase of expenses continue increasing, right?
Okay.
I think it helps a little bit with that. Absolutely. I think there's definitely some benefit to those tools, but really it's a financial business model problem that we're dealing with today, right? Where insurance started years ago as a real benefit, but it's kind of evolved into a monster. In most industries that you look into that deal with insurance, it's kind of a nightmare running those businesses.
Yeah.
today, right? Whether it's a dental office or a car repair business, right, that has to work with insurance. It's just you're working with a third party that's making the rules up, where most practice owners start their business because they want freedom and they want to own, they want to be captain of their ship, right? But in reality, the insurance company is the captain of this industry, and if you're signing their contracts, it's their patients and their model, right? Not yours as a dentist. So I believe it's a more of a business model issue than a tooling issue, if that makes any sense.
So when it comes to like improving profitability, okay, so dentists is looking at their PPO plans and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, okay, I'm seeing my margins shrink, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to solve the profitability issue by what are the top 3 things that they do that are like not the right first step? Like they're going to solve it like this way. Oh, that doesn't work. They're going to solve it this way. Like I've given you one, right? I've given you one.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just try and cut my labor costs.
A tool,
on the phone, by
helps.
buying another tool, which helps. But that's not really solving the profitability issue. That's just solving your cost issue of. I don't
Exactly.
know, so is that a good
No,
question?
that's spot on. Yeah, I would say another thing they try to do is go learn more, treat like a new procedure, right? Like implants or something that may not be covered by insurance, right? Which is great. I think that definitely can work. But the biggest thing that I see work with the practices that we work with is fixing the business model, right? Because a patient, whether they have insurance or like a patient membership plan, which what we help with, they both can say yes to an implant treatment. But if the economics are wrong from the get-go because the PPO plan doesn't make sense to your costs, then you're always going to be, you're always going to be, your profit is always going to struggle because it's a business model problem. So what I recommend when a practice is looking at this and saying, hey, this is tight, this is a hard market right now, and my profit is being squeezed, how do I combat that? Okay, with a business model, utilizing a patient membership program, where I think some people in the industry will think, oh yeah, we have a patient membership program, it's great, it's kind of the side thing we do. But the real practices that are like fixing their business model take it seriously, right? And they choose to integrate it into their whole practice. It's a core business model of their practice. So I'll give you an example. So there's a practice up in Idaho. I'll give you a couple examples. So Wood River Dental, they're my homies. They record a podcast with me every week, or one of the docs does. They just dropped Delta Dental, okay, which is a big deal. Okay. That's a big deal in most markets. And they were able to do it with very little stress. It's because we used a financial model, a membership program, and at every like 100 members, they looked at a PPO and started dropping 100 to 200 members, right? So they used math to combat the math problem, right? Of bank account math, we'll call it. So they said, okay, we're going to grow this patient membership program. We're going to create a safety net of recurring revenue from our patient base.
Makes sense.
So that we can then financially be stable to say, we don't need you, insurance companies, right? It's a business model change, which is kind of crazy. But I believe it's one of the best things a practice can do when done right. So go ahead.
No, you gonna keep going? Because I have a question about that.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll dive deep. I was just gonna say.
No, you.
You. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Oh, we did both scissors.
You win. Go.
So they didn't drop Delta right at the beginning, right? They worked up to it. They got to like 1,000 active membership patients, which generates roughly between $50,000 a month in recurring revenue just from the membership plan. And then we noticed that the members simply buy more. Like think of Amazon Prime or Costco. They've got their membership plans. When you go shop on Amazon, I think the Amazon Prime member pays like 6 times more than just a regular Amazon shopper. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Same thing with Costco. Same thing in dentistry. When a patient becomes a member, they buy roughly about 2 to 3 times more within the practice, meaning they say yes to case accept or treatment plans than a cash paying patient.
They've already
even a
made an
PPO
investment.
patient.
They've already
Yeah.
made an investment into it. It's easier to make a second investment.
Yes.
It's hard to make
Yep.
the first investment, but
Exactly.
that's what okay.
So
Makes sense.
I say dropping Delta and dropping PPOs, and that may scare some practices if they're heavily PPO reliant. But you do it in tiers, and you do it strategically, so that you can fix the model, right? And that's kind of what Wood River Dental did. 200 members, they analyzed a couple PPOs, started dropping it. 300 members, a little bit more, and then they worked their way up to Delta, which was the big one that most practices are dealing with. Yeah. So that's kind of the business model shift.
Is that a typical phasing? Like you
Yes.
step it? Is that the most, because the knee jerk, like, oh, we're cutting our PPOs off.
I mean, I've had clients that have done that. They've survived.
What
but
happens?
It's very painful. It's very painful because you literally need to have a good marketing plan, right? If you're dropping PPOs, you need to train your team on how to talk about it, like positioning and verbiage, right? And then you have to have a patient membership program system that actually scales, right? Most practices that they've done that, they really hurt for a long time, and then eventually they get out of it. But you don't want to just rip it off, because it is. I know how painful it is when you look at your margins and seeing them shrinking, like what the ADA just reported. But there's a strategy around this, and it's really important to create the safety net first. Is kind of how I talk about it.
So I have a kind of a question that's a little bit tangential to this. It's more of like clarifying something that I heard. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was talking to a good friend of mine who's in the dental industry, is at a GPO. Okay. And
Okay.
It's kind of a GPO. It's kind of like a hybrid GPO.
It's one of those weird, Frankenstein.
It's one of those weird.
Yeah, I know what
it's
you're
a
talking
Frankenstein
about.
GPO.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so
The reptilian one.
So we're-
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Dude, you never know.
You never know.
You never know where they're at, because they can actually change form.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They can look like a regular human being. When
Maybe
you
I'm
go
one.
to the insurance company, it looks like a real human being. You could touch them and they feel like, but they're not.
They're not. Yeah, they're freaks.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. So, by the way, this is the loosest podcast I've done because it's you. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
that's how I am, bro.
It's just a free flowing conversation.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the claim. So in the insurance game, they'll have umbrella companies that represent like 20 or
Yes.
30 insurance companies. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So when the claim, so I can't remember. I think Carrington's like, I remember that
Yes.
name. I think
Yeah,
it's
they're an
Carrington?
umbrella.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, I think they
All right,
have
so-
umbrella policies. Yeah.
All right. So you sign I want to know if this is true.
Yeah.
So I'm a dentist. I sign an agreement with Carrington. I submit my claim. It goes to Carrington, I think. Maybe that's how it works. Carrington looks through, or maybe actually, I don't know. You submit your claim to one of the insurance companies in their umbrella,
Yes.
but then maybe you have an agreement with that company independent, like direct. But
Sure, yeah.
Carrington looks at the agreements to see which one is the lowest reimbursement, and that's where the claim gets submitted through.
Sure.
Is that?
Yeah.
You follow me on that? Is
Yeah.
that, am I
Well,
seeing
the
that correct?
umbrella. That is a strategy. The umbrella policies is what they're called, right? Where a dentist may sign one contract not knowing it's an umbrella policy, because a lot of the times they don't read the contracts thoroughly.
Like, who reads contracts anymore?
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
put it in AI.
Just send me a contract. I'll sign it. I don't care what it is.
I don't care what it is. Jeez. Yeah, that happens a lot, unfortunately, in dentistry. But yeah, these umbrella policies exist, and I'm not like the best expert around umbrella policies, but I have heard. I've been to several courses of our buddies in the dental industry that are consultants that talk about these umbrella policies, and they're kind of scary, because you sign one and then you're just in this you're like in multiple networks, and you don't even
and you're
know,
like, know what's going on, and they're just like sending the claim through on the lowest reimbursement rate.
Okay. Which is causing the problem today, right? Of lower profit margins for practices. So that's can be really scary. But yeah, that's a thing that happens. It's unfortunately
so sneaky, dude. I heard that.
It is
I was
very
like,
sneaky. Yeah.
What?
It's very sneaky, and I would imagine the practices are feeling, like they got the rug pulled out from under them, and it's like, geez, there's so much frustration around working with insurance because of stuff like this, right? Where it's like, this is illegal. They can do this. They can do things like this, and so
well, they're not from this planet.
Yeah, that's
they're
why.
From somewhere else.
That is a fact.
Don't apply.
Yes, that's a fact right there about that.
All right, so let me ask you this. So trending in the industry.
Yeah.
Is the trend generally, I mean, you should know this. Is the trend generally like dental practices moving outside of PPO, the insurance, the PPO game? I mean, are you seeing that trend?
Yeah,
is that where things are going?
I see more of a hybrid where they're cutting the really bad ones, and a lot of them are keeping the big ones like Delta. Right.
Yeah.
I think the average practice will be a hybrid fee-for-service practice is kind of what I've been seeing this whole time. But the really good ones, the ones that really know their numbers and understand their business and want to improve their business, I think fee-for-service is growing because of those types of practices. And then how you can scale patient membership programs today is a lot easier than 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even, where today you're just seeing more and more practices attract more patients because when you look at the patient demographics of why a patient membership program is something you should take seriously is over half the United States doesn't have dental insurance.
Yeah,
but yet you got most of the industry signing up with every PPO under the sun, most likely. Right. Adrian, because they don't know how to market their practices, which is, something that I'm sure you can help them with. But that's the biggest thing, right? A dentist goes to school, he learns how to cut a margin and place a crown, but he doesn't learn how to market himself. So they become reliant on PPO contracts, right? That's kind of how I look at it. So if you're really wanting to optimize your practice, like ensuring that you have a good marketing function, like what Adrian, your guys' team do.
But hold on, I don't know if it's marketing. I mean, yeah, people come to me for marketing, but I don't think it's marketing. Yeah. I think it's an implementation issue.
Could be.
So meaning like a practice, an average practice has like a book of business of 1,000, 1,500,
1,000 to 2,000,
2,000, 2,000. Like if you kick off a membership plan, like. You don't have to go find new patients. You just got to get the patients that you're working with to sign up.
Is accurate.
That's all you have to do.
Yes, that is accurate if you're that size, right? The 1,000 patient mark is kind of what we see. Okay. 1,000 to 1,500. That is absolutely true for those types of practices. For startups and stuff, marketing is the bigger issue.
Okay. Yeah. Agreed.
Is I guess I can be more clear on that. Yeah. So if you've got 1,000 to 2,000 patients, yes, it's probably an implementation issue, and then maybe even getting your team to be on board of that strategy.
Can I tell you how being in marketing and like asking dentists or dental team members, hey, can you just snap a photo for us and text it to me? Or
implementation,
can you just can you just like shoot this quick video? It would really help out. I mean, we could do a lot with that if you could set it. We never get anything, right?
Yeah.
So
we have similar things, when we were asking them to do stuff. So yeah, you're probably right. It's probably a combination. Well, depending on the size of or the type of practice. Yeah, it's a lot of it is implementation, or they're just so overwhelmed because they're working with too many insurance contracts, and they're doing a lot of admin work, and they don't have any other time. Because to get their money, the revenue, when you're on PPO contracts, takes a lot of human effort, more than usual, right? So more than like you and I have been running our own companies for a long time, and the effort to get our revenue and collections is nowhere like a dental practice. It's like they've got
Oh,
2 or 3 layers harder to generate the revenue. So
well,
they're
and plus dentists actually pay their bills on time.
yeah, they do.
They
yes.
actually pay their bills.
I've never had a
Most
problem
people
with
on the
practices. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're all super honest, hardworking, and they pay their bills. The reptilians, on the other hand, don't.
Yeah,
Right?
deny, delay. Well,
Delay.
the business model of insurance is interesting, right? It's actually a really good business model, if from a business standpoint, not from a partnership standpoint, because they literally take millions, I think probably billions of dollars in every year. Because like when I'm just looking in my background here, if I can see an insurance company building. Most insurance company buildings are the biggest one in your state, right? They're the tallest one.
Yeah.
If you go down the street here a little bit, you'll see some there's a dental insurance company here called Dental Select, and then other.
I know exactly where you're looking.
Yeah, they're just down the street. And then you'll see other insurance companies in any state that you're in. They're some of the biggest buildings in your state. Why?
They're right next to the banks. They're right next to the banks.
Yeah, all the financial products. The insurance companies collect so much money every month, and then they put it in reserves. They put it in investments. They hold it off and let it earn its interest and all that fun stuff. And that's why they deny and delay so much, is because their business model, it's a financial product, and that's usually how they work. So that's a huge issue when you're partnering with them. It's like, okay, I'm partnering with this PPO plan. What's their business model? Like, why? Like, yeah, they're attracting patients, and they've got the marketing and sales skills to, acquire, a lot of patients and employers and all that stuff. Yeah. But the business model is flawed for the second piece of the partnership, which is the dental office, unfortunately. So, that's kind of how I look at it, what I see in
So
the state.
I want you to create a picture for me. So
I didn't know I was going to do art here.
It was this finger painting class. Come on, man.
Finger painting class. Okay.
So listen, I want an image of what it looks like for, let's not talk about a de novo practice. Let's talk about a practice that's fairly established.
Okay.
Deep into PPOs. They're like, we got to start a membership plan. And I want you to address the issue of the implementation. It's like, I want you to give me an example of a practice who like implements and does the internal marketing really, really, really well.
Yeah.
So that they start getting their patient database onto the membership plan, and give me some timelines. Like, where do you see them? Let's assume it's like there's 1,000 patients in the database, active patients in the database. Let's just stick with that. Where are they at in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12, and the revenue that starts to generate, the ongoing recurring revenue?
Yes, that's great. Okay,
Give me somebody looking at this going, oh, I could do that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Let's do that.
So this is how boring I am. I went into multiple offices and I just sat and watched. So I went to several dental practices that had successful membership programs, and then some that were struggling. Okay, and I just asked the doctor, I'm like, hey, is that cool if I just want to wait in the waiting room and just kind of see what happens? And I told the doctor knew what I was doing. And the practice and I literally sat for hours watching the flow of patients coming.
Were you playing on TikTok while you're doing this, or were you paying attention?
I was paying attention. I was taking notes.
Oh,
that's how boring I am, Adrian. So no. So I went in, and the practice that succeeded, it's really simple from an implementation standpoint. It's really simple. The practice that succeeded had signs in the waiting room and throughout the office, throughout the patient journey within the office.
Some messaging.
So the messaging. Yep. And like we make these signs for our practices. And then the team had like a pins on their shirt that said, don't have insurance, ask how we can help you save. Right. And the sign said a similar thing, right?
Something. Yeah.
Yep. And then throughout the patient journey within the practice, they would see those, but then in the operatory, the doctor would be like, hey, are you have an insurance plan? And he'd casually talk about it. They'd say yes or no. Even if they said yes, he'd be like, hey, we just launched our patient membership program.
Okay.
You should give it a look. It could be better than what you're doing right now, and it's a direct pay model. It's really simple, right? So the doctor would say something about it. The hygienist sometimes would say something about it. Have you thought
Right,
about,
right.
or at least having the verbiage on like a pin in their office? And we provide these now for these resources for the practice now when they implement it with our
So
software.
sign up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on checkout, the front office say, hey, did the team talk about our patient membership program and how much you can save? Here's an example of what you could save on it, and they would hand them a piece of paper that very simple that just would simply it would explain it to the patient and then just show a really simple example of how they could save. Okay, the patient then would say, yeah, let's do it. Oh, and by the way, you're already going to pay for your exams today. This is all your exams are included if you sign up today. That's how it would work in the practice, right? Very simple.
You close the membership plan right there.
Right,
it's going to be $195, $295.
Depending on where you're
today,
at.
it's only $100. Oh,
exactly. Yeah, you could do promos like that, or they waive like the enrollment fees. And again, the opposite practice, they think that because they've built a plan and they've put it on their website, which is a great place to put it, that everyone's just going to sign up for it.
Office.
No,
it's all in office.
We do see practices that, because our app integrates into websites, and we do see patients signing up online all the time.
Yeah.
But when you look at the majority of them, they go through that experience that I just talked about
in the office.
Right?
Yeah.
In office, right? And there's some patient communication strategies that a practice can do before the patient gets in the office to lead them up to it. But the bulk of it is done with the patient flow in the practice, right? So, and that's what our team, we've got implementers here at BoomCloud that they'll help structure that implementation for a practice. And
so with that, this is when I said it's not marketing, like digital marketing. What I was referencing is like,
it's more
you
like,
can't just put it on your website and expect it to work. You have to build a system, a communication, messaging process inside the practice in order to really get it going. So
yeah, exactly.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, and like marketing delivers the patient flow, obviously, like this.
Sure.
And some of those patients may have insurance and some may not. So as long as you have that flow inside your practice, then you're going to scale a membership program. So the practices that implement that flow, that have roughly about 1,000 to 1,500 active patients, they end up signing between if they do it systematically every day, right? It's a key piece of their job.
It's part of their process.
A lot of them too on the daily huddles will be like, who's uninsured? Okay, cool. Let's make sure we talk about this person on the membership. They do a huddle about it in the day, right? And then what they do is from a like a scaling perspective, the practices do exactly what I just said there with some more nuance, right? I'm kind of talking about 30,000 feet. They typically sign up between 20 and 40 patients a month to their membership program if they're about 1,500 let's say 1,500 to 3,000 patients is kind of the range that I'm looking at. And at the end of the year, we're actually having a practice come on to talk about this that really started. So at the end of the year, at 40 patients a month, they're at, roughly, because you got to count patient churn throughout the year too, right? Yep, because churn is always a part of no matter what type of business you run, which is unfortunate. Call it 350 to 480 patients at the end of the first year, if you're talking about it, and you've got new patient flow. That is key. If you're an office that's just stagnant and you only have like 1,000 to 1,500, you're probably going to be the lower end of that range, like closer to 10 to 20 a month, because churn, no matter what, you need new patient flow always, and then the existing patient flow.
But it doesn't have to be as much, because I would imagine the retention on patients is going to skyrocket
with a membership program.
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's the biggest thing of why you want to do it, is because especially if you're on your way to becoming fee for service. If you're becoming a fee for service practice, or you are a fee for service practice, why Why do the patients stay with you? They may like you, yes, but they can go to the PPO practice down the street. So that's why a membership program can help with that type of style. But at the end of a year, if they implement this right, they can have anywhere from $15,000 to $22,000 a month in recurring revenue, and then repeat the next year. It's usually a 2-year strategy to get to what I call like maturity, where you can get closer to 1,000 membership patients and really change your practice business model, reduce more PPO contracts if you want. Not everyone does that, but some.
All right. So let me ask you a question that I think is really important. You have worked. You were a consultant. Well, you were a consultant. Have you ever worked at a company where you were just paid you're in sales? You were just paid based on your sales,
like a commission?
Like a commission structure, or it's just like or being in the business where you get paid once but not reoccurring revenue. Have you ever worked in an organization like that?
Yeah. Like I used to own a little website company that would get paid like once,
one time
for a project. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me, as a business owner, what the difference is between project work and reoccurring revenue.
Well, yeah.
What does that do to your heart and soul? Let's talk about anxiety levels.
Yeah. Yeah. The dental lab was like this too, right? It was more project work, right? Cases.
Yeah.
We never got,
absolutely.
I label that as varied recurring revenue because the practice would reorder from us, but it was variable every month based off of their case flow. But I used to build websites for practices a long time ago. And I would do one-off work for those practices. So I don't even like pay me a fee and I'll build the website and then I'll be on my way. Well, that business didn't survive. So that's it's not a good business model. And dentistry operates through kind of like that. It's I would label it as varied recurring, meaning patients are going to come in over and over again. But if you don't create a true recurring revenue model, it gets really hard. So here's an example. Like when I managed my dad's dental lab, at the first of every month, we started at $0 in collections. Yeah. And we had to cover a certain amount of expenses, which this is how a dental office runs even today. Right, where it's like, cool, in the first every month, you start at $0 in collections, and you have to work your way up to cover your costs.
To break even.
And then to break even, and then get to profitability within that month, every month. You have to do that over and over again.
It is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
The anxiety levels of that just drive you crazy. I've been in sales the same way,
Yeah, sales is the exact same way.
Man. Every month, you start over again. It freaking sucks.
It really does suck, and it's exhausting. So, recurring revenue is one of my favorite business models because, well, you can sleep better at night because you got predictable recurring revenue that's coming in on the 1st or the 15th, or you can design it however you want, right? On the 1st of each month, let's say you design your membership program, and over a year to 2 years, you're building this membership program up, and at the end of 2 years, let's say you've got close to 1,000 active membership patients, which is based off of today's average of membership plan prices. It's between $40,000 and $50,000 a month in recurring revenue when you get 1,000. Yeah. Right. So like our good buddies,
your mortgage or lease is paid.
Everything's
everything's
your payroll
like
probably
you're
is
all it's like all covered.
So this is why this is a business model that should be taken seriously, and because there's some offices out there be like, yeah, we have our membership plan. It's got like 30 practices of patients on it. It's like, do you not realize what you got, what you could get, what you could have with this? So like Wood River Dental, they got over 1,000 practices generating close to $50,000 a month, whether they do dentistry or not. Sorry.
Yeah, 1,000 patients.
1,000 patients. Thanks for that correction. Yeah. 1,000 patients generating about $40,000 to $50,000 a month in predictable recurring revenue, automated collections, right? Versus a practice that has to start at zero at day one and work their way up. That's exhausting. Another practice that we have out of Texas, they have over 4,000 active membership patients. They're a big office. Yes,
serious.
It is a
Wow.
multi-million-dollar membership plan just from their membership plan. I think they generate like $200,000 a month. It's an engine, yeah. And they don't worry. Like the average dentist is doing exactly what waking up on the first of each month and stressing out and having all that anxiety to get to their break-even point and then to profitability every month. But you live a different life.
It's a different life
when you have the proper structure and a strong patient membership program, and it gives you optionality, right? Meaning, when I say optionality, you can say, I choose to sign that PPO contract, or I choose to get the hell away from that PPO contract, right? Optionality is one of the most important things to develop in any business, right? Whether it's my business, your business, a dental office. When you have optionality,
by the way,
you're
is
the
optionality a word? I don't.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
I think it's. I think I just made it up on the spot, Adrian.
Oh, is it? Okay, we're just gonna go with it then.
This is my word.
Oh, sorry.
Optionality. Yeah, have options.
Choice,
right?
Choice. The ability of choice. Yeah. Like if you're not doing that, you are locked in, and you have to use the PPO network.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
You got your recurring revenue. Now you have choice. You have the option.
Yes.
You have optionality.
If that's a word, I hope that's a word, because I've
I
been
don't know.
using
Let's
that word
put it
for
in the dictionary
years.
right now.
Yeah, just ChatGPT it. Is optionality a word? I hope it is, because I've been telling people that for years. The choice, optionality, whatever. Are you looking it up? We should look it up.
I'm checking.
Check it up.
I'm
yeah.
checking. Keep going.
So,
I'm checking.
No, you're good. Yeah. Fact check me here, Adrian. So, that's really what it's all about. And when you look at the stats with what the ADA is saying,
you're good. You're close. You're good.
Is it
good?
It
is a word. The quality of having choices and flexibility. Okay.
So, quick side story. My wife always tells me that the word I'm using is not real, and I'm like, what? I've been using that word for years, because maybe I grew up with, my family would always make words up or merge like two words together, and then in my world, it was a normal word that we all knew what it was. And then I married my wife, and she's like, what are you saying? And I literally thought that I just did that again with you. I'm like, oh man, I made up a word, or I grew up because my parents said a word.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. We're safe.
We're safe. We're good. You fact checked me. Great.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember what I was saying, but
sorry.
You're good. The data set that the ADA is saying is the business model needs to be relooked at from my perspective, right? In the dental space. And the fact that there's over half the United States that doesn't have dental insurance says there's a market, right? I've never had dental insurance. I don't ever plan on doing it. In fact, I'm a member of a Dr. Anderson for Essential Dentist from his membership plan down the street here. And we do that for our employees too. And a lot of practices, Adrian, will talk to the local business owners in their area and be like, hey, you should have your employees, you should use this as a benefit program and pay for your employees to have a dental membership plan. That's what we do for all of our employees here at BoomCloud. But that is a strategy a lot of practices are doing. There's a lot of opportunity out there, but it really does start with existing patients you already have, right? That's the easiest low-hanging fruit that most practices have. Start with your existing patients. So, yeah.
Well, I just want to echo this whole reoccurring revenue thing.
Yeah.
Like, until you own a company that has reoccurring revenue, you just don't know how freaking amazing it is. Like,
you really don't, right?
The amount of stress that is removed from your life and the energy around that stress, dude, like I wouldn't do it no other way.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, I'm the same thing. Like everything I start or invest in has to have that in the business model.
It has to have recurring revenue.
Well, and if you think about it, the insurance companies have a recurring revenue business model, right?
Yeah.
Premiums and that you pay every month, that all the consumers pay every month. And it's one of the reasons why they have the biggest buildings in the state is because they have that recurring revenue model. Right. But a practice can do that too, right? So, and a couple benefits come with that type of financial model is you, again, increase patient loyalty, like I've said. Patients feel like they're investing when it's a membership plan. They feel like they're investing in their healthcare, so they take it more serious because it's their plan. It's not some PPO plan that their employer bought, right? And the same thing with when you have recurring revenue, a healthy stream, your practice becomes more valuable because the next dentist or DSO or whoever buys your practice will look at that financial revenue stream and the possibly contracts you have with those patients that are usually a year long. They look at that and say, this is a more valuable business than the doctor without.
Exceptionally more valuable.
Because it's guaranteed. And the biggest problem in dentistry when a practice is sold, it's valued at a certain multiple or whatever valuation.
But it's a service company. It's a service.
It's a service company.
Multiple.
But what happens is it gets valuated as at a certain valuation, and then the new doctor gets in after purchase, and then patient churn happens, and then it's less valuable, right? Without a membership program. So this happened to several friends of mine who bought into practices at a certain valuation, and then over time it declined because patient churn. The new guys here, he doesn't know what he's doing. We like Dr. Smith, right? Or whoever. Right. And this happens all the time in transitions. So it's why recurring revenue is valued, because it's a loyalty program where those patients are like, well, we're already invested. Let's just keep going. Right. And then you get the recurring revenue when you buy that practice. So it's from a business strategy standpoint, it's a really important if you're looking at transitioning your practice, or you're just sick and tired of working with PPOs and you want a better model. So that's these are all my thoughts around insurance and
it's brilliant.
Recurring revenue.
I love it. I just wanted to really put the nail in the coffin on recurring revenue. You know, we as a company, we've been around, like I said, for 17 years.
So you had project-based income one time?
No.
Or you've always been recurring?
But if we ever did, we would have been out of business for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
No question.
So hard.
No question, for sure. So hard. And so, if I were a dentist, one of the first things I would do is try and figure out how to create recurring revenue, because it just solves so many problems. You can project better, you can make decisions more flexibly.
Well, here's another funny example. It's like, that doctor really I want to buy that milling machine or whatever, right? I want to buy that new laser. Cool. How much is that company that those lasers cost? $100,000 or whatever, maybe more. How much is the monthly payment of that? How many members you need on your membership program to cover that monthly payment? You can start creating goals like that for your practice. Hey, I want to invest into my practice. How many membership patients do I need to cover that payment?
To cover that cost?
Yeah, versus how many implant cases. Implant cases are great, don't get me wrong. And that's definitely a layer on top once you build recurring revenue. But it's when you have that, you cover all your expenses. Or if you're wanting to invest more into your practice, you say, oh, we need to sign up 50 more members, and we can make that laser payment that we've been wanting to get, so we can provide better dentistry. Yeah. So it's a really good model for that too, because it's so predictable and budget friendly when you're budgeting.
I love it. I have one last question. It's more about the actual implementation process. So you talked about the buttons and the table tents and the signs and all that kind of stuff to kind of try and drum up a conversation about the membership plan in the office, and you want to train your team and whatnot. I know how hard it is to go into a dental practice and ask the team to do one little thing in addition to everything else.
Sure,
The change management stuff is brutal, right?
It's real, yeah.
Have you ever implemented something where there were incentives for the team in order to get more memberships? It could be team incentives. It doesn't have to be cash. It could be cash. I mean, is there anything like that happening? You guys
absolutely. Great question. So within BoomCloud, BoomCloud's a whole management tool to manage and scale a patient membership program. And we have a lot of different tools. One of our tools within BoomCloud is a reward management system, where you can add your team members in, and you can do two things. You can say, I want to reward them with a point system, and then at the end of a month or a quarter, do a team whatever, right? A team dinner or whatever. Or you can do a bonus program, right? And you can manage this all within BoomCloud. So when a practice or a patient signs up, I keep saying practice, when a patient signs up, the staff member that's signing up, puts their name in and gets credit, right? So we got a whole tracking system that does that. And that does work. So some of the best practices that have grown to 1,000 or more patients on their membership program use a reward system in addition to like the patient experience that I talked about earlier. A rewards program is really important to implement when you're doing this.
I would imagine. And by the way, audience, I did not prep him with that question. That came out of nowhere. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah, we have a whole system.
I bring it up because it works. It works well with marketing. Like if you ask a team member to get a review or to send a photo in or whatever, if you give them some goodie somewhere, they'll remember to do it. It's just so hard.
When they want to do it. Another thing that we're doing, Adrian, is I have my place in Hawaii. We have like when practices log into BoomCloud.
Oh, I thought you were going to invite me. Oh my God. That's I thought you were literally going to say, I'd love for you to come, but okay, keep going.
Yeah,
fine, whatever.
I totally would. When they log into BoomCloud, we're testing this right now, and it's actually creating really interesting results. They log into BoomCloud, and it says, win a trip to Hawaii, and if they get a certain amount of members in a certain time frame, BoomCloud is going to send them to my condo in Hawaii, and because they're achieving, and that's one thing we're testing to help our practices out. It's like, okay, I love Hawaii. I have real estate in Hawaii. Let's see if we can make it fun for our customers to go to Hawaii when they hit a certain members. That helps the practice. That helps us here at BoomCloud, and it helps the team member, right? And the rule is no doctor can go. This is your staff doc, like. It's your office manager, the people that are signing patients up to the program, they win the reward to go to Hawaii. So that's kind of one thing that we're doing to motivate our entire customer base, and it's having some interesting results. You're seeing patient numbers go up. It's fun. Yeah, so incentives do work, and I'm watching that daily. But yeah, that's one benefit of utilizing the BoomCloud software is we like to do fun things like that.
That's awesome. That's a great promotion, man.
Right.
Well, dude, so for everybody out there who's watching this, has gone all the way to the end. You've watched this whole thing and us like jaw-jacking each other and screwing around and talking about this.
It's what we do.
If you don't have a membership plan, or if your membership plan is lackluster, call Jordon.
Yeah. Go
to BoomCloud. Get the phone number, call him, jump on a call, and let him help you build this thing, because it's brilliant. It's a brilliant idea. I've watched your company and other companies kind of in this industry, and I've interviewed lots of people, and I've talked to consultants about it. The reoccurring revenue is a benefit. Retention is huge.
Yeah.
You know how like easy it is to build a dental practice if you could just retain the patient. Like, it's so hard to find a patient. Like, that's what we do. But if the practice can like retain that patient year over year, holy cow. Now they don't have to spend a grunt load of money on marketing. Because
patient acquisition costs.
Patient acquisition costs are tough, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think you got a great product, and you've got a phenomenal reputation. And I think you're doing a great job, man. And I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks, man. It was fun hanging out with you and talk about reptilians.
Oh yeah,
that.
Thanks for listening to Bite Size Podcast. Tune in to stay up to date with everything dental AI and tech